For a long time, you guys have been asking for a complete Assume Nothing beginner's course in reloading, and this is it. Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. I'm here with my good buddy Todd Landstad. We actually work together in the tech industry. Todd, where are you from originally?
I'm from Kamloops, British Columbia, a little town pretty much north of here.
Right on. And you came down to work at Microsoft.
I did. I moved into the tech industry, moved from Canada down to the States. I've been here for quite a while. Married a girl from Montana, and so the last few years, getting more and more into getting outdoors, enjoying it, getting the family involved.
Getting your Jeep off-road.
Getting the Jeep, doing lots of camping, and also getting out there and shooting, doing a little bit of hunting, working on my accuracy, that kind of thing. So
you come from the land where handguns, for instance, are heavily restricted, and now you've married a Montana girl, and you're, from what I could tell, you're kind of embracing the lifestyle of the outdoors, the shooting, some hunting. You just went bird hunting and stuff like that.
We did a great pheasant hunt 2 weeks ago in Montana. So definitely embracing that and learning a lot. While I've been exposed to it, things like reloading, I got nothing. I haven't done it before.
So if you're up for it, here's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna have you. I've got this stuff kind of set up. We're gonna look at the setup, check everything like you would when you're gonna reload some ammo.
Okay.
I'll have you reload the ammo this time. I promise I won't touch anything.
Okay.
And then so this is 45 ACP, and then we're gonna go and shoot the 1911 and shoot the ammo. So this is teaching a Canadian to reload and shoot their own ammo in a handgun for the first time.
All right. I know you're a good instructor, so I'm interested to learn.
Hopefully so. And if you guys haven't loaded ammunition, this is going to be, I think, a great way for you to see a fresh perspective. Assuming nothing, we're starting at the very beginning. Okay, so like I said, we've got the press set up. This is kind of like I'm coming back to the reloading bench and I'm going to reload ammo.
Okay.
What you want to do first is make sure that everything is set up properly, that you have safe load data that you're using and that kind of thing.
Right.
Okay, so that's where I'll have you start.
Okay.
Is I'm going to give you the Hornady Handbook of Reloading. I've got the page bookmarked there.
Okay.
And I always leave my load data on the bench next to the press. I leave my component containers out so we know exactly kind of where we left stuff.
Sure. Okay.
And I was set up for 44 Magnum. I just put all this back on for 45 ACP.
Okay. This
is what we're doing here. So you're going to need to turn to the page with 230 grain bullets.
Okay.
For all of you out there, this is just some once fired brass from Capital Cartridge. Normally we would need to clean the brass
230
to get all of the carbon fouling out of there and all the dirt off of it so that it doesn't scratch our reloading dies. But this is pre-processed brass from Capital, so we're good to go. We could lube the cases, but with these dies we don't need to. So if we're loading rifle, you'd spray lube on it so that the case doesn't get stuck in the die.
Okay, so you buy the pre-processed ones already, so you don't have to worry about cleaning.
This is from Capital. It's the easiest way to go. And then you just save it. And then if you were going to reload that again, then you would put it in a tumbler with some walnut shells. There's corn cob, there's stainless pin media, there's ultrasonic cleaning. Somehow you got to clean the brass. But this is pre-cleaned.
Okay.
And so this is the cartridge that I loaded last. And it's got a 230 grain Hornady XDP bullet. This is my typical 45 ACP load.
Okay.
And we're using the CFE pistol. I've already checked the load data. So we've got 6 grains of CFE pistol. We've got Winchester large pistol primers. And what I want you to do is just check to see what our cartridge overall length is supposed to be.
So I'm looking at 230 grain.
Yep.
And we've got the HP XDP listed as well as the LRN.
Yeah, so it's going to be this one, and you're looking for the COL, so that distance there.
Yeah, so it's
measurement.
Okay, so it's 1.210.
Okay. Here's some digital calipers.
All right.
0 to 6. That's a new model actually from iGaging. It's got the extra large display.
Cool.
So I use those at the milling machine and stuff. So.
All right, you're really testing my abilities here. So I'm going to 1.210.
Actually, here, let me show you real quick what you need to do. Is you just take the cartridge, and then I said I wouldn't get hands on. I promise I won't do the loading. So you hold the case rim against one of these.
Set that there.
These jaws here.
Okay.
And then you just pull it up until it hits.
So you're just measuring to make sure. Okay.
The cartridge overall length.
Okay. So and that's how newbie I am. The COL, I didn't understand that was cartridge overall length. So.
This is important for safety because if it's too short and there's too little air pocket in there, too much case capacity, then it'll be higher pressure and cause issues maybe.
And so this is down to thousandths?
Yeah.
So what kind of threshold is there? Like
plus or minus maybe 5, I would say. And then we can test it in the firearm we're firing it in to make sure it's going to feed properly and fit in the magazine.
Yeah, okay.
So where are we at now with that one?
So we've got 1.206.
So we're within and a half.
Yeah, and a half. So
we're within about 3.
Yeah.
That's our reference cartridge, so that's good. We're confirming we're within spec. And when we get the first cartridge off, I'll have you measure that too, just to make sure our dies are still set.
Okay, and then once we measure that one, my assumption would be that they're going to be pretty consistent once you got it set up.
This press, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have any worries about, a non-rigid setup or a press that's not very accurate, you might want to test a few.
Yeah, and do it maybe periodically or something like that. So
so we've got that baseline, and I want to walk you through here kind of how we got the press set up. This is a Hornady Lock and Load AP. It's a progressive press. Meaning that you've got multiple cartridges in place at a time, multiple die stations. Every time you pull the handle, it's going to be doing all these things, and then it indexes, kicks out the completed cartridge, and you put a new piece of brass in, and it goes on, so on and so forth. We've also got presses here that are turrets. This is a turret press here. It's got a head that actually indexes, but you've only got one shell holder over here, and so you do one thing at a time.
One at a time.
And then you've got single stage presses. And these guys have one die at a time and one shell holder.
Okay.
And so you have to actually spin the dies out rather than indexing.
So it's going to take you a lot longer.
So those are single operation. This is progressive. And this is auto indexing too. So it automatically indexes the plate. It automatically kicks the cartridges out. Which is another important safety thing. So we've got 5 stations. And the process is first we're going to squeeze the brass down the diameter. We're going to poke out the old primer. Some of these are going to have primers in them. Like this one. So it's going to poke out the old primer. That's going to go down into a trash can. I don't have one set up right now. So that's station number 1, sizing, depriming. This die here, it has like a little cone inside. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see that.
And that's going to flare the case mouth out a little bit. Which is all about, if you have cast bullets, the bullet can get seated and not shave the lead off. And it'll also allow these bullets to sit in the case mouth while it's being indexed and going up into the seating die.
And it's just flaring out that right amount so it doesn't fall below where it's supposed to.
10,000ths or so total trumpeting of the case mouth. Then we go to the powder charge. This is the powder measure. We've filled it with Hodgdon CFE pistol, copper fouling eraser. And it's case activated, so the case is going to go up and rotate the drum. It's going to drop the powder charge. And then I've got this KMS squared light here. This is a special add-on light. That is an important safety feature. And then we're going to look. We're going to do a visual. The powder charge is one of the most important safety things. If it didn't dump, you're going to get a squib load. The primer could have enough energy to send the bullet into the barrel and it gets stuck. If we accidentally goof something up and index the press twice with the powder measure, we're going to get a double charge and that could blow up your gun. So the powder charge is probably the most important safety consideration to keep an eye on, and this light will help us greatly to see into. This is a short case. This is actually not that hard, but some of them are tall and skinny. You have to kind of look down. Okay, so powder charge, and then you can either do your seating and crimping in one operation or 2. I like to seat the bullet to the proper depth in one station. That way I can just fiddle with my depth. Independently here, we can adjust our crimp. That removes that trumpeting, case expansion or flare. And it can also provide a little bit of extra grip right at the case mouth so that there's a good press fit. It's held securely.
If you're redoing a lot, does that take up extra time, or by doing it by 2 operations?
So if we have a combo die, it can seat and crimp all in one stage, but then if you need to adjust the crimp level, you're raising and lowering the die. It also is raising and lowering your seating depth, so you have to readjust for the depth of your seating of the bullet. And then for revolver cartridges, when you seat the bullet first and then do your crimp, the crimp is a bit more exaggerated on a revolver round. It goes into a groove in the bullet, and it can do that without having the bullet move at the same time. And that means that it's just a cleaner crimp. You have a little bit less lead shaving or whatever in there. So that's the process. Why don't we send around through the press?
All right. So go ahead and grab one. I'll grab one that's...
I'll make sure you have the proper terminology too. So this is a shell casing.
Thank you.
A case.
Thank you. And so the shell casing, some of them have the primer in it and some of them are cleared out.
Yep.
So for this, do you want me to grab one that has one
Doesn't
in it?
matter.
Okay.
Yep.
Here's one that's got it in it.
Into station number 1.
Okay.
Yep.
So go ahead and slide that in.
Yep.
So it just fits nicely and held on by that little flange.
Yep. This is the shell plate.
Okay.
It's got a little cutout to hold onto the case rim. Okay, so now take the handle and smoothly go all the way to the bottom. And what I want you to do is make sure that you always press down and hold it for just a split second.
Okay.
Yep.
And obviously not doing this before.
Yeah.
The amount of pressure, so it should be just probably an even, smooth pull.
Yep.
Don't want to...
just make sure that you continue to advance the rotation. Don't ever go backwards.
Yeah. Okay. All the way down.
Yep. And you're going to want to use your right hand. I know you're left-handed, so this is going to be kind of hard. Okay, so yeah, and just that little bit of pressure there.
And hold it.
Just to make sure that you're completely at the top.
So in this one action,
it
looks like it pops the used primer out.
Yep.
And what are the other things that are happening?
It's squeezing the diameter of the case down.
Okay, thanks.
And that's important because it expands when you shoot it.
Yeah.
And then to get the right press fit of the bullet, you need to reduce that diameter back down.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of in a locked position right now. So stable.
And here's what's going to happen. When you lift it, it's going to half index again. The primer's going to slide into position. And then at the bottom, you're going to push forward with even pressure. And that basically press fits the primer back into the case.
Cool.
That's called priming.
All right. So all the way up.
Yep. Nice and smooth, and then
next
forward,
step.
rock it a little bit. Yep, you feel that?
Yeah.
You can kind of feel it
Just
press into
that last
place.
little piece.
Yep.
Okay.
And so I want you to stand in the middle, and then I want you to use your right hand like this, and then you can kind of see what's going on.
Sure.
I'll try not to be in the way. In fact, I'll maybe switch positions
spots
here for you. Yep.
Okay. So let me take a look at it so it looks just nice and clear.
Yep.
So next stage.
Okay, so now we're primed. Now we're going to flare the case mouth.
Okay. So same action.
Yep.
And I'm assuming it's the same action each one.
Yeah, we'll send one while load through, and then we'll load.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll send it through. 2 hands down to the bottom.
Yep, that's good.
Back up again.
You're not going to feel the same amount of resistance because there's no sizing. The sizing is where all the force comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. And I can see the belt. That looks good.
Okay.
Now we're going to powder charge. Same action.
So when we go through this one, it's going to drop the correct amount of powder.
Yep.
What are the settings on ahead of time for the amount of powder that's going to drop in?
Actually, let's do this. We'll validate the powder charge.
Okay.
So before you do this, let's take the scale. And what I want you to do is turn on the scale with this case on it. So not yet.
Oh.
It's all right. We can zero it out.
Okay.
No, that's good. Okay, so take the case out. Just pull it to the side with that spring and remove it.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, now put it on the platen. Okay, and then hit the 0 button.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're zeroed out.
We're tared out on this. Any additional weight will all be the powder.
All right.
Yep, so put it back in there.
Okay, and since we turned it, it's got this spring that's holding it in. From the beginning point.
Yep, and now you can go ahead and do the full cycle.
Is it a 2-hand operation for each one of these? Just on the first one where we got that?
No, you can just do one hand for everything. Yeah, because once we get rocking, it's the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that's good.
Press and hold.
This is up. It's going to come back down. Good. We can see the powder in there. See that?
Yeah.
Cool. Now take it out of that station. Put it back on the scale platen.
All right.
Good. You didn't spill it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've got about 5.8.
Okay, and our target was 6. This is going to be plenty close.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a good validation.
Great.
And then take this black cap off, and we'll just dump the powder right back in.
All right.
Actually, no need for that. We'll keep it charged because we're going to go the rest of the way through here. If you're normally checking, you'd be dumping it back in each time and checking multiples. But I'm confident we're stabilized here. Okay. Next, you're going to seat the bullet. So why don't you take a bullet and put it on the case mouth?
All right. So just set it in there.
Yep. Perfect.
Sits just at the top.
You can press it a little bit.
Okay.
Yep. Just to keep it kind of wedged in there a little bit. All right. Now send it again through the handle stroke.
All right.
And that's going to seat the bullet. Okay, and you can just do another cycle, and that's going to do the crimp, and then we'll check our bullet to cartridge overall
I assume as we get going on, it's pretty mechanically moving through it. But when you're setting this up, you really want to check each stage, make sure everything's
absolutely
kind of going the way you expect.
Some of them are simple visual checks, and others are weighing the powder charge and measuring the cartridge overall length. So go ahead and send it again. Okay, that's the crimp. And then why don't you take these digital calipers again? It was about 1.210, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah,
it was for the
spec.
COL, yep. So we're going to go ahead.
Now you got to make sure that you're totally, there you go. Rock it a little bit.
There. So we're at 1.215.
Okay.
So 5 1,000ths.
Normally we would want to adjust that, but I know this particular 1911, that's going to work absolutely just fine.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
We'd err on the side of long so that we have more case capacity in there.
Okay.
Rather than compressing it too much and then spiking our pressures. So you ready to do some full progressive loading now?
Yeah, let's do it.
You did your first round.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
All right, thanks for the instructions.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Pretty straightforward. And I think it's always in the details, making sure you're set up right. You've got all the pieces all going. I can imagine that once you get going, you're just going to be cranking these things out.
At first, check, double check, triple check, right? The data, the actual values that you're getting from like how much powder is being charged, what the length is, and all that. And then with the powder measure, sometimes there's a little bit of a settling in. So you might want to check every 10 rounds, check one.
Yeah.
And then I know this setup is good because I've been using it recently, and it's fine.
Yeah.
So why don't we go for full progressive loading now? So
Okay.
each time, here's what you're going to do. You're going to put a case in.
Pull it.
You're going to go ahead and cycle the press.
Okay.
And then, actually, I missed a step there. Case in, bullet on, and you're doing your visual there. And then you pull the handle, and then the completed cartridge gets kicked out.
Okay.
Case in, bullet on, cycle it. Same amount of pressure, same forward motion to prime the case. Everything's going on at once.
Okay.
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 So we'll start slow and we'll ramp up our speed.
Sounds good.
And that's good. You want to shove it in and make sure it's all the way in. That was perfect.
Okay.
It can kind of bounce out a little bit if you're not
it's a pretty
careful.
stable spot. So
Yeah.
down to the bottom.
Yep. Good. Now as you're priming, push forward. Every time you got to push forward. Okay. And you can even take this out and look. We got a primer in there. See that? And we can feel that it's flush.
Okay.
And you can set it on a surface and make sure it doesn't rock. If it's protruding too much, it'll like teeter on a surface. So that's back there.
Okay, great.
Another case in.
Same action.
No bullets yet, so we don't have to worry about that. Yep, same action. Okay.
Primer heard it drop. Okay.
And forward. You got to go forward more than that.
Thank you. Okay.
And did that. So I don't know if we're totally aligned. I'm going to check you there. Or did you? You did it.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So I think that's the reminder for me to make sure that I'm pushing all the way forward.
I push like twice forward because primer seating is ultra critical. And if you get a primer that's not seated well enough, it'll get stuck between the base plate and it's held down by the shell plate. So good.
And you're not always going to have that primer popping out if it's not already in the spent shell, right? So you won't have an audio or audible noise of it falling in the garbage or anything like that. So,
okay, so you're good. Now you're going to start charging.
Okay.
Okay. All the way forward, press twice. Yeah. Good deal.
Okay.
Okay.
Visual looking, so...
now we're in the full mode. Now you grab a case and then set a bullet.
Okay.
And this will get faster, as you go. Okay.
I would hope so. I'm pretty slow at this so far,
but you get a cartridge for every cycle of the press. That's where progressive is great. Okay. Good. That looks good. Got good powder level.
Good powder level in the second one. So now I'm going to be able to start to see that or kind of get a visual of knowing where the powder level is, I assume.
Exactly.
So it's just kind of making sure. Okay, so I put the shell in.
Yep.
See the bullet.
Perfect.
And what about any variation of how I seat it? Like I set it in there, kind of tough.
It'll line itself.
Okay.
This has this sleeve that comes down and it guides the bullet up into the die.
Okay, so if it's off, if it's not perfectly vertical,
the sleeve will tilt it, and then it follows up as a unit, and then it gets seated.
Okay, great.
That's why I like those dies.
All right.
Good. Okay.
Back up.
Good.
All right.
Tap on the priming.
Good, and we don't need to measure the overall length since we've done that.
On that.
Okay.
You're getting the hang of it.
Yeah. Just remember the...
And we can add bullet feeders and case feeders and automate more of the process, but this is a great way to start. I would not hesitate to have someone start with a progressive. They just need to take it really, really slow.
Yeah.
Some guys will say you're supposed to start with single stage.
Ah, I see.
It's just too much work for handgun ammo, I think.
And I can see how this is going to increase the production for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the point might be made that there are a few things to pay attention to versus a single stage one. So
absolutely.
I think somebody like me going super slow at the beginning, critical to get that muscle memory going, I think. So loaded the new one, and speaking of that, making sure that what I'm doing correctly, loaded the new shell, set the bullet in place.
Cool.
Same action. All right. Keep going.
Yep, absolutely.
Visual on the powder.
Okay, so now we've got into a priming issue.
Yeah.
And I think now you're good. I think there was a slight variance in how you push the lever.
Yeah.
And it doesn't quite index into the right spot.
Okay, so that's that piece to make sure that I was forgetting before, making sure that I push forward. Okay. Bullets on.
Yep.
And then that push up. Make sure it's seated.
Does it feel right?
So how, it seems to, what are the kind of things that I should look for to make sure it, or to feel for? Is there a visual on the casing?
It's really more of you're feeling that force as you move the lever forward.
Okay.
Let's take a more up close look at it. Feel like it's priming all right?
It looks like it this time.
Okay. Yeah, I was noticing you need that little settle-in pause before you push the handle forward, stuff that I do without noticing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So down is nice and smooth. Just a little bit of a pause to let that cartridge index.
Yeah.
Visual on the powder.
You're doing great.
Feeling good.
Yeah. It's kind of a relaxing deal once you get into the mode,
I can imagine. And yeah, it's kind of great to see it go from completely empty to something that you can feel good about. So load it up.
Okay, so why don't we run the press down now? So no more cases, and then just kind of keep placing bullets.
Okay.
And keep your rhythm.
Let's do it.
Oh, it's not ejecting. Interesting. We got a little bit of debris in there.
Yeah.
Okay, not a problem. This is what progressives are about. You got to fiddle with stuff once in a while, and it usually has to do with debris.
Okay.
Powder, any kind of brass shavings that can come off the case mouth when you crimp and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I see you're checking your powder level. That's great.
And with any powder that maybe does, or any debris that gets on there, so just using a brush or blowing it off, kind of easy to clean kind of process.
And taking the shell plate off and really doing a deep clean, every 1,000 rounds or whenever it appears to need it. Okay, so you got the last one here.
Here we go.
Do our crimp.
All right.
Got some ammo here. Your first batch of ammo that you reloaded. Are you interested in taking the 1911 out and we'll shoot it outside?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, let's do it. So you ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Okay, so I've got the 1911 here. I'm gonna rack the slide here for you. And so I'll give you the firearm there.
All right.
And we've got a magazine loaded with your ammo.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, so go ahead and just kind of tap that in. Okay, and you've got ears. I'm gonna put my ears on here. And okay, so go ahead and point the gun down range.
You bet.
And before you get your finger on the trigger, pull down on the slide release.
You bet.
Yep. Okay. Now you're ready to roll.
Okay.
What do you think?
Great.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool to be able to create it and then fire it.
Yeah. See if you can hit the steel target there.
Okay. Sorry, I was shooting at the...
Nice. Nice. Okay, your slide's back.
All right.
Okay, so that's it. Start to finish.
Great.
You loaded your own ammo, you shot your own ammo, you know, and what did you think of the experience?
That was a great experience. Yeah,
good.
Pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Definitely learned a lot to see how the press works and all the stages.
Yeah. Do you think your Canadian friends are going to be put off?
I don't think so.
I know a lot of them are really cool.
Yeah.
So hopefully you found this little tutorial helpful. You know, we had zero coaching. This was coming in completely cold.
Yeah.
Hopefully that introduced you to ammunition reloading if you haven't tried it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss any of the action here on GavinTube, subscribe to GavinTube with notifications. Click on that little bell. Until next time, happy shooting and happy reloading. Let's do some more shooting.
Sweet, let's do it.